Well, finally, here in BC, real estate agents are starting to receive a little bit of information about the upcoming cooling off period that will be coming into effect on January 1st of 2023. Here on this channel, I'm dedicated to educating you, the public, about local Surrey, Fraser Valley, and British Columbia real estate. And the cooling off period might be the biggest change in the real estate market in some time. So if you'd like to stay up to date on the market, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you could go ahead and please click the like button for the YouTube algorithm, that would be the best way you could help me get this information out to other potential home buyers here in the province of British Columbia. And of course, if you do need personalized help navigating this crazy marketplace because you are looking to purchase a home, you can book a call with me right now down below in the description with just a few simple clicks at a time that works best for you. And while you're down there, go ahead and download my Informed Buyer's Guide totally for free so you can gain a little bit more information about the process. Okay, so as many of you know, the BC FSA announced almost a year ago now that they would bring in a cooling off period. That's fancy talk for the buyer's right of rescission, meaning that when a buyer makes an offer here in British Columbia, whether it's conditional or not, the buyer will have the right for a certain period of time to walk away from the transaction. It's taken almost a year to get this far, but some of that information and the details about how this is going to be instituted on the 1st of January is starting to trickle out. And I'm going to actually read you a couple of excerpts from the BCFSA email on the latest developments. So I'm not going to show you the email because this is an email that is designed for licensees and the BCFSA. So I don't know how much of this I'm actually allowed to say, but I am going to turn my eyeballs here and read a couple of lines because it does appear that with the cooling off period, there will be yet another piece of paperwork to go along with it, which will be a disclosure form. So the email says, in partnership with the BC REA, that's the real estate agents, the BC FSA is the regulating body, have developed new disclosure forms, which will be made available on January 1st, 2023. So we don't get to see the form yet, and we don't understand exactly what this disclosure will entail. But let's continue. This is the first communication we've had about the rescission period itself and its timeline. It was announced that it would be a 3-day period a little while back. However, the rescission period is a 3-day rescission period, according to this email, that starts, this is the important part, that starts on the next business day after the offer is accepted. And get this is for extreme clarification. It excludes Saturdays, Sundays, and BC provincial holidays, which may or may not include all of the federal holidays. And the rescission period ends at 11:59 p.m. on that last business day. So now I'm going to break that down a little bit so everybody understands what that means in English. If you bring a property to market on, let's say, a Wednesday, and you receive an offer on Friday and you accept the offer on that Friday, that now means that the rescission period does not include Saturday and Sunday. And so the buyer would have the right to walk away from this contract that they accepted on a Friday night from Saturday, Sunday, Monday is the first business day, then Tuesday, and Wednesday. And if Monday happened to have been a holiday, well, that rescission period gets extended through till Thursday. So similar to things like notice to a tenant, these are what we call 3 clear days. But specifically now, the BCFSA has clarified that even further to say this will be 3 clear business days. This is going to get a little muddy at certain times of the year when we have business days and whether or not those business days, as I mentioned earlier, are federal or provincial, but I'm sure we'll work through that. The next bit of clarification is the rescission fee. So currently in BC, there is no fee if you have conditions in an offer to walk away from that contract. The disclosure that's coming out apparently is going to require the agents to accurately calculate what that rescission fee would be at 0.25% or $2,500 on every million of the home purchase price itself. Then the next step is to manage the actual deposit itself, where it says, if your buyer client has made a deposit, it must be returned less the rescission fee if they decide to cancel the offer. In the event that the brokerage is holding deposits, you, being me, the real estate agent, will need to advise them how the deposit will be managed if they rescind the offer, meaning how is it getting paid back. Now, one thing you have to know about British Columbia is most deposits don't get paid until the deal is firm, which is different than most places across the country. So in most transactions, there will be no deposit paid for the seller to recoup their 0.25% from. And really, to avoid any of this being a problem at all, likely what's going to happen is most contracts will probably just be subject to something else like financing until the day after the rescission period expires. And that will make this whole process basically a big nothing burger. However, with this disclosure paperwork that is done and has to be filled out by the real estate agents, here's my take on it. I think that hopefully this is a piece of paper that is signed by both the buyer and the seller so they are aware of what that fee would be. In other words, the seller knows how much they get if the rescission period is enacted. The buyer knows how much they'll be getting back if they walk away from the deal or how much they'll be leaving on the table. My hopes, though, for the BCFSA and the BCREA making this form is that the actual drop dead time of the rescission period hopefully is also on this form, because nothing would be worse than to accept an offer, say on a Friday night, not know if the particular holiday that is being observed is federal or provincial, and then having no clarity on whether or not that fee is coming back to the seller or the buyer should the buyer walk away. But as these details of the cooling off period are starting to get released by the government to us, the agents, it's becoming quite obvious that really this probably won't come into effect on most transactions. They're structuring it in such a way that this cooling off period will only ever be used in really, really hot markets. And given what the market is doing right now, particularly here in Surrey and the Fraser Valley, I can't see this cooling off period having any effect in the market whatsoever until interest rates start coming down again. But I guess really after thinking about it, we shouldn't be shocked that yet another government policy designed to win votes and not actually help the people is doing just that. Not helping anybody and just adding more paperwork for more people to do for really no reason other than maybe to get votes. Let me know what you think of this latest update down below in the comments, and I will do my best to bring you more clarification as we, the real estate agents, receive it. Remember that if you are trying to purchase a property and don't know what to do because the market is so up and down, you can go ahead and book a call with me right now down below in the description. Please make sure you go back and check out another video before you leave the channel, and we'll see you in a couple of days.